Hello and welcome back to the Port City Podcast, episode 68. This week we're talking about Airsoft AOs. All right, everybody. Hello. You're here and we're also here. We're here together in a way.
And I'm sick.
All of us airsofters. Isaac is 60% here.
I'm sick, bro.
Yeah.
My voice.
Dude, pray for my boy
gone.
Isaac. He's sick.
Went to play airsoft and had to not talk because the other day, whatever Saturday it was we were playing, I sounded like this.
Yeah, I remember.
I was talking like it was an ASMR
I'm surprised
video.
you actually, your voice is like getting better every day, but like you are still talking all day. So I don't know how that's happening.
Coughed up blood this morning.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. You should get that looked at.
I think it was blood from my sinuses, which drained down my
Likely
throat.
story.
Then I coughed it up. I don't think it was like from my lungs.
Yeah, you would.
But
You would cough
if there
up
was
blood.
any way for Isaac to die, it would be tuberculosis.
Yeah, not in combat like you want.
I would pass away a lunger.
Dude, with my luck, I'm going to die of old age surrounded by my friends and family. Ugh.
This is an
So
Airsoft
lame.
podcast on YouTube. No wonder people don't take it serious, dude. Look at us. I mean, that's so serious. I'm wearing a boonie hat in my house.
In a Guardians of the Galaxy flannel,
I'm
which
wearing
is dope.
I'm wearing a boonie hat inside of my home.
With Marceline, the Vampire Queen, and Princess Bubblegum socks. I'm looking at them right now.
Yeah.
Pseudo piggies.
Hey,
as it
listen,
were.
if you're listening to the Port City Podcast, it's probably because you like Airsoft.
Yeah,
all
man.
right?
Or you like us, and that's
weird.
wild.
Weird,
Yeah,
weird,
weird and wild.
But it's all
and
about having
wacky.
fun, dude.
Yeah.
And that's the mentality we try to take into everything we do except, I don't know, maybe taxes.
Yeah, taxes. I just kind of put whatever numbers
I don't know.
down. I
Just
don't
take
know
it
what
all, I
they
guess.
know what So if it's wrong, they'll tell me.
But yeah, tell them what we're talking about.
Dude, we're talking about Airsoft AOs. AO for the uninitiated is it's a area of operation, right?
Yeah, I guess there's a silent of in there.
Well, I mean, you typically don't put the of. I guess you could say AOO, but no one ever does.
Yeah, it's AO.
AO.
AO. AO.
Dude, love Elton John.
That guy.
I love that guy.
He's tremendous. He's very...
He's a really tiny dancer.
What's the meme that's like, he's just tremendous. He's artistic. He's very gay. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You haven't seen this?
No.
Who is it that plays the Green Gobbler?
Oh, Willem Dafoe?
Yeah, it's like a video of him doing an interview and he's talking about someone.
What about Willem Dafoe?
And then he ends it with like, there's many things to love about him.
You're going to hear that one on the podcast because I don't know if you got it.
What did you say?
Dude, what about Willem Dafoe?
Oh.
We've got Willem Dafoe.
Oh, snap. But yeah, we're talking about areas of operation from a personal point of view, because that's how experience works. We don't know the places we haven't been to, but
We got a good idea.
I'm so sorry. I'm probably going to cough, and that's horrible for the podcast.
Just don't do it into the microphone because sometimes I use that.
We're trying to sort of discuss, I guess, on the grand scheme of things, there's consistent things in Airsoft. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we just went to barracks for the first time.
Right.
And I've never played there before, but I know the vibe.
But
it's an
you can-
Airsoft
yeah.
field. It is familiar.
It's a very similar thing to if you play games, like if you play video games like PC and stuff, for the most part, you can transfer your knowledge. You know WASD is going to be your movement. You know you're going to use, if it's a shooter, you're going to use left click to shoot. You're going to use right click to probably ADS. Or if you're me, you use spacebar. I'm not going to explain. I'm not going to explain it.
Dude, in the
I'm not going to explain it to anyone. You know what? You don't deserve an explanation about my keybinds, okay? I don't have to explain my keybinds to you.
You should know. If you don't know, then you should think about it.
You really need to think about it. Think about your keybinds. We're not the same. I use spacebar to aim, and I use right click to jump. We're not the same.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, how is that crazier than people using the scroll wheel to B-hop in CS?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't give me crap for that.
They do that as Spider-Man too.
Anyway.
In Marvel Rivals.
All that to say, you know that there are certain things that carry over from game to game. It's very similar in Airsoft, right? Just because you're in a different environment doesn't mean that the game is played that much differently, right? It's still one hit, and you call that hit. You still have to, you're still using cover in the way that you use cover.
Dude.
Yes, the way that you maneuver around the field may be different, but it's for the most part, it's going to be all the same. But what makes different AOs, areas of operation, different? What makes one better than the other? What makes one different? How does an indoor field play versus an outdoor field? How does woods ball play differently than like what we have at Hoppers, which is like a mix of woods ball and CQB? And because there are some fields that are just woods. There are some fields that are just buildings. So it varies from field to field. We've played at, I'd confidently say, at least one of each type of field. Not every field in the United States, but we've got an amuse-bouche, if you will.
Since we... that's crazy.
The amuse-bouche?
I've never heard that before. Since we have been on a Milsim train of thought the last couple of months. If you've been following, we're talking about Milsim
on that
stuff.
Milsim Sigma grind.
We're going to kind of carry that out for the first little chunk of the podcast here, talking about Milsim AOs, and then we're going to get into some of the more like casual airsoft type of environment. Yeah. Really just talking about the quality of fields, talking about the nature of playing in different areas, what that's like, the experience, airsofter stuff, things we can relate about. And then if you guys are supporting us on Patreon, obviously, we've got the Ready Room every week. That is our Patreon exclusive podcast episodes. If you guys don't know this, we do post for every episode. There is an additional 45 minutes to an hour.
We just talk about it every episode.
That is not a. It is more a continuation of the podcast where we kind of just. It's for the people who do want to support us, who do like the content, who do believe in what we're doing over here at Port City Airsoft, and also just like listening to airsoft people talk about airsoft. So. We'll be getting into some of our
cup of coffee. You can support Port City Airsoft.
Yeah, I think it's $5 a month right now.
And that truly is. If you're going to Starbucks every day, that truly is the price of a cup of coffee, dude. What are we doing?
But when we get to the Ready Room, we'll be talking some about our story of how we got into airsoft and the pipeline of
we've mentioned
Nerf in childhood war games.
And we've talked about some of that in the past, so you could probably go through our previous episodes and
oh my gosh.
And
I'm never ready
piece together the origins, the lore, but we're gonna lay it out for you in the Ready Room. So go support us in the
check out Patreon.
You get episodes, you get bonus content.
There's other stuff on there, bonus content, digital downloads, access, exclusive stuff.
You get discount codes, right?
I don't think so. Not on the $5 one.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you gotta subscribe to the $20,000 a month Patreon.
$20,000 a month will give you a $5 coupon to the store.
Right.
But yeah, so talking about Milsim AOs, I think the first Milsim that we went to was Thunderdome, which was at a mall.
Operation Lion Claw. It was in a mall. It was in I don't know what the name of the mall is, but it was in Durham, North Carolina.
Pretty cool mall. There's a basement, which is insane. Dude, the basement is genuinely the back rooms.
I would posit most malls probably have a basement.
I know, but as a shopper, I've never worked in a mall.
The Oglethorpe Mall, I've never been to the basement.
I'm familiar. Well, we also probably don't have one in Savannah because we're at sea level.
Oh, that's true.
But the back hallways and the access rooms and channels through a mall, that makes sense. Yeah. I know about that.
The back
what I was shocked to see was the basement was not just storage and air filtration and whatever.
It was office space.
There was office spaces, kitchens. I think
it's
there was
a whole town
there was
down
a
there.
Daycare or something in there.
Crazy.
There was the kids
if you've
hallway.
been playing Poppy Playtime,
It's that.
It's like that, but without the child murder.
Yeah. I've not played that game, but I've seen clips.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. It's pretty spooky. Chapter 4 just came out.
That's the one where it's like where he hit what's his name with his birthday. That clip going around where it's like, I know your birthday, and it's like,
and it like reads off Markiplier's birthday. Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah, and he's like, what?
I have not watched that clip from any other content creators to see if that voice line truly is.
It is.
Or if there's like some kernel level deal in there that knows it's Markiplier playing this game.
No, that's what it is. It was that's the line every time for no matter who it was,
and it was just lucky.
But they did it because they knew that Markiplier would play the game.
Is that confirmed?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
They were like,
wild.
Markiplier's going to play this. We're putting his birthday in there.
He freaked out.
He did.
He panicked.
There's a
for
clip
a
of another guy being like, "That's hilarious. That is his birthday, and I know he's going to play it. That he's going to freak out." There's like a clip of another guy reacting and being like, "Oh, he's going to flip," and then it cuts to him being like, "What?"
That's common knowledge. You can just Google that.
Trying to justify it.
I watched them all, man. I also, sorry, kind of a tangent. I have also gone through and watched every single Markiplier Five Nights at Freddy's video, and they are good. There's a reason that man has millions of subscribers and is one of the top-rated YouTube Let's Players on the platform. I like Markiplier. Don't at me.
But the mall was a very cool AO. Very unique. I don't think most people, I mean, that's a rare, like growing up, all right, let's take it back to our roots, right? Mm-hmm. We all know when we were kids, watching airsoft videos, wishing we had money to buy an airsoft setup.
Play on that, whatever field.
Well, like I remember watching videos of people playing in malls and being like, that's insane. Like my childhood brain could not fathom, oh my gosh, I can go play Call of Duty in real life at a mall. And so when we went to go do that, that was kind of a dream come true for me. And it was so fun. It was so fun. The fights are totally different. Dude, if the fighting in the mall was a whole different dynamic than any other AO or field we've ever been to. I feel it was such a unique experience because it's these long, open hallways with little to no cover except for on the sides, storefronts. So it is like A New Hope. Darth Vader and the stormtroopers are boarding Leia's ship.
Like or the extended version of that scene from Rogue One.
Well, yeah, and it is just they're coming into this hallway and everyone's like taking cover on the wall. Like they're crouched next to like a panel in the wall.
And that's what you've got.
And that's what it was like fighting in the mall. It was so cool. I felt like it was a really good experience. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man. Yes. That was, we've been to other Milsims since then. And that is still probably one of my favorite experiences. Like if I could, I would do every Thunderdome. Like I would play every single Thunderdome.
If I had the money.
If I had the money, I'd go to every one of them because they're so much fun.
And I feel like the total opposite of that was Iron Fury.
Yeah, Iron Fury. And again, I would do not every Iron Fury. I will do Iron Fury again.
Yeah. Again, that one was in North Carolina as well.
It was also North Carolina. It was Hibernia State Park.
Now that is TCA. That is not.
It's a different company.
Lion Claw. Yeah. That's a totally different company. But it's a state park. It's all woods. There's like maybe one or two structures, but we're not supposed to play around them. So it was like all woods. And we were, dude, let me just say, we've talked about this enough. We don't have to rant about it for long, but go watch. There's like 3 episodes about Iron Fury that we did about prepping to go to that event. The nature of getting up, sprinting 50 feet, and then diving behind a tree,
proning out behind a dirt pile.
Like we were prone a lot
most of the time.
We were crawling and fighting,
and I'll say the LBV, Alice rig was perfect.
And we've got a tutorial coming out on that at the end of March. new kit video explaining how you, my friend, can make your own LBV setup like we have.
And you're going to want to.
I highly recommend it. It's probably the best kit I've ever run.
You're going to want to.
So Iron Fury was cool. Lots of woods. If you've played woods ball, you know the feeling. But just imagine instead of like 20 to 60 people on a Saturday, it is like a few hundred people,
like 400
spanning
people.
the range of a state park.
Mm-hmm.
And there's technicals, and there's launchers, and there's stuff blowing up. There's drones.
Well, not drone strikes, but there were definitely drones.
I'm pretty sure I watched a guy get a grenade dropped on him.
Oh, for real?
I think so. Because there was one point where we were sitting there, remember? And that drone flew by, and it was like Ghost Recon style. We were all like laying down sideways, covering ourselves with leaves, like tucking into trees and bushes. And that drone flies over, and it passes us, and then like a minute later, we hear a little pop off in the distance. You don't remember that? That could have just been a grenade. I don't know.
It could have just been a grenade. I think it might have been. I remember that drone, but it was the same drone that had been tracking us the whole op.
Trying to. I mean, they definitely saw us. I mean, there was nothing. When you've got like 20 dudes out there, and half of them are kind of tired, and like, I don't care, man. They can know I'm here. Yeah. Like, as much as we tried to stay hidden, I don't think that. I don't know. I'm not a drone operator. I don't know how easy it is to spot people. I'd like to imagine that it was hard to see us through that tree canopy, but
who knows?
Who knows? How crazy would it have been if they just had thermal that whole time we didn't know? They were just like running a thermal.
I mean, there's always the chance that they did. I mean, I don't know what that drone was.
It wasn't enough, I'll tell you that.
Dude, that's something that, like, talking about real life, dude, I can't imagine having to fight in Ukraine right now with all that. Like, some people are carrying around shotguns to basically do life or death skeet shooting.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, and a drone does not move like a clay pigeon.
A drone does not move like a clay pigeon.
But yeah, woods ball, very good.
It's a lot of fun.
Kind of similar to that, but a little different.
I would say Ballahack is probably the closest thing as far as fields that we've played at that is not our home field, that is closest to our home field, because you do have a mix of buildings and woods.
Yeah.
Oh, a little fart.
That wasn't actually, but it did sound exactly like one.
But yeah, Ballahack, we've been to a couple of revs now. Isaac's been to 3. I've only been to 2. And
Ballahack's such a good field,
It's such a good field because it is such a good blend of buildings, CQB, woods, and like swamp, open areas, and
good lanes of fire and coverage. Mm-hmm. Like, it plays really well, and it really does work for those events. And it keeps traffic moving, traffic on the paths. Yeah, and we've never played
rec ball there.
Yeah, we've never played like events. A contested game. We've only done Rev. That's not even Milsim. That's like free roam, open world. True. We've never been like, we've got to breach the. There it is, y'all. We need to just do a compilation of all your burps on the podcast.
Maybe that's what
Maybe that's why the mic's stinky. Remember the other day you were like, oh, this mic kind of smells bad. Because you're always drinking coffee. I know that coffee burp can't be good.
I mean, it would just smell like coffee.
I don't think so.
No, it definitely
I don't know if that's right. Well, you don't drink. He does drink coffee, just black drip coffee. So there's no like cream or sugar.
Yeah, I train myself. I do a lot of work on the road, and
he forces himself to suffer and drink black coffee so that everything else in life just seems a bit more tolerable.
It is real though. Not that specifically, but. Like, I do not like...
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Could you imagine, like, only drinking black coffee, like, unfiltered tap water, sleeping on, like...
Just gas station coffee.
Dude,
high sulfur content water.
Sleeping on low, like, thread count sheets, like, wearing poorly made shoes. And
isn't that like dopamine detoxing?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like... Now, it's one thing if you're doing all of that because of... financial reasons, like that's a whole different world of like, oh, I just can't afford nicer things. I totally get that. But imagine someone who chooses to do all that to force themselves to like enjoy other stuff more. Like if you're like, man, I really want to like enjoy my job more, so I'm going to make everything else bad.
And then put like a nice cushion on your chair at work.
Yeah, what a hey, strats over here.
It is real.
I should have worked for the CIA, dude. I got this on lock.
I drink black coffee, and now I'm at a point where if I have milk and sugar and all that in my coffee,
it's too much.
I don't like it as much.
Yeah.
It's just not good. Like that to me is not a coffee.
Because you've
That's
accumulated to it.
Like if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to drink chocolate milk.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm 30 years old drinking chocolate milk, but screw you, man. What do you not enjoy things? Did
you know that?
What did you turn 17 or 18 and just stop drinking chocolate milk? That's on you,
Here's your
dog.
random fun fact. Hot chocolate originated, I don't remember how old. It's pretty old. I want to say it was like Victorian era.
Dude, hot chocolate would demolish a Victorian child's taste buds.
So it was. That's when it started. That's when it started becoming popular.
Can't be.
No, but here's the thing: as like an alternative to tea and stuff, and it was like an exotic. It was considered an exotic treat.
Yeah,
and it was very popular. Like tea shops started selling it, and then when coffee came onto the scene, Big Coffee, dude, I'm not even playing with you right now, I'm so serious.
Yeah.
Big Coffee ran basically like a smear campaign, and it was like then considered a girly drink. Hot chocolate was considered a girly drink to try to sell more coffee, like shaming men for drinking hot chocolate.
So Big Coffee invented sexism and misogyny to sell more coffee.
Yeah.
More warm. Yeah.
I just want you guys to know that.
Sorry, I guess.
Sorry, back to
the better
Airsoft
one would
on
be
this Airsoft
Big Coffee
podcast.
invented misogyny to sell more boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to the Airsoft podcast.
Ballahack is a good field. We've been there a few times too. And
I'd
I
love
think
to go
things,
play a weekend game.
I would too. Maybe we do make that trip.
Heyo, so expensive, but let's do it. Not playing at Ballahack, but just traveling to Virginia.
I think they charge like $35.
Yeah, but look at the place, bro. Hey, when a dude in his backyard is like, I'm gonna raise the price to $35, that's a different thing than if Ballahack was like $50. I'd be like, you know what, man?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, money. Chris.
You know what? This is probably the best facility on the East Coast. I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
They were voted like best airsoft on the East Coast or something.
I imagine
They won awards and stuff. Do you know there's airsoft awards? Swamp Sniper was up for best airsoft YouTube channel. There's like a whole I don't know very much about it. We should learn.
Swamp Sniper truly is the Mr. Beast of airsoft.
He genuinely is, because like he does stuff with Dude Perfect and all these other guys.
He takes all the money.
How long
he
do you
makes
think it is before Mr. Beast films
better.
a video at Ballahack?
If it hasn't happened already, it needs to soon.
It will, I believe.
I think the things that we like most about Ballahack is truly like how much care and consideration was put into.
It is the Chick-fil-A of airsoft.
It truly is.
Everything's great.
Everything that Chris has done on that field is done intentionally. It's done in a way of like, okay, how is this going to change the way that this field plays?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't want this, so I'm going to make sure that this is like this container is facing this direction, and there's not a window that
and they
looks
have a whole
across
team now.
this. And
I mean, do you know about this?
oh, like a team that manages the field.
Yeah, they were hiring. Remember, I told you they were hiring a construction guy.
Yeah,
I almost applied.
Yeah,
honestly. But then I was like, oh, wait.
But then I'd have to move to Virginia.
Yeah, I was like, but wait, hold on, Port City Airsoft.
Yeah,
what if we do that? So Ballahack's really cool. Another one that is honestly flying under the radar. People don't talk enough about this place. Big Lake Tactical in Minnesota is. I know Minnesota's like a whole state. I don't even remember the area where we were, but it's in Minnesota. Look it up. Big Lake Tactical is one of the most interesting airsoft fields I've played at.
That truly is a dude's backyard, right?
No, it genuinely is. You pull up to the dude's house, and he goes, I asked him, how often are you open? He goes, every Saturday morning, I wake up, I walk outside, at whatever 9 a.m. If there's people in the driveway, we play, and they have good attendance. They do. It really is a thing.
If there's people in the driveway and it's like 50 people.
Yeah, no, I'm so serious.
He says that, and I'm thinking like, oh yeah, like 5 people are here to play airsoft today. No, dude, it's like
this dude has land, a lot of it, and he has built like a full World War II, like you could film a World War II like reenactment, short film, whatever you want out in this dude's land, and it would be believable.
It is also a very good mix of trenches and wood line and buildings. Then buildings, and so you get the CQB aspect, you get the woods ball aspect. It is very cool. I just played there a few times.
I have not been so European lucky. Village with like 3-story buildings. There's like the barn has like a underground tunnel that leads out of it into the trenches. It's
insane.
Like all sorts of cool stuff.
Imagine
and then
just
there's
having
one
that in your
area of the
backyard.
field that is kind of a little bit separate. That's like a hill, and it is king of the hill, but it is a like, oh, there's a bunker at the top of this hill, and we're pushing uphill to fight them. Yeah, it is like you feel like you're in
like a pillbox up there.
You know, in Saving Private Ryan, once they clear the beach and they get up to the first bunker, and there's that MG nest shooting at them. Yeah, and he's like using the mirror with the gum and his knife. That's what it feels like playing that.
That's field. Dope. Yeah, I want to go play there. We should make a trip.
We should make a trip. I told Wyatt we should go.
Yeah. Dude, shout out Wyatt. I think we've talked a lot about like all these other fields, and I think it's I mentioned it earlier, right? Ballahack shares a lot of similar things, like play components, field components, like buildings and stuff. Shares a lot of things with our home field, just on a much larger scale than what we are used to at Hoppers. Hoppers is a decent field. It is mostly a paintball field. They do let airsoft play there, and they treat us well for kind of just letting us do our own thing. It is again, it's a mix of buildings. It's a mix of woods. There's some trenches there. There's a map that is literally just called trenches. That's a bunch of dug out stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
And it is a lot of fun. It gives you a lot of variety because some of these maps we're doing, it's more open across like a large distance. Some of these maps are CQB. They're in the process of building a replica of Shipment from Call of Duty.
Yep.
Because everybody loves Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And that makes sense because they already have Nuketown. So.
Do you think Airsoft would exist the way it does today without Call of Duty? I think it would exist.
Yes, I think it would exist the way it does because I do think that while the fields that we play on are inspired by Call of Duty, the gear, the blasters, the play style, and everything, especially for Milsim, it does mimic real life.
I think casual weekend gameplay may not exist to the same level that it does. Now, I think Milsim would be big.
I think that's the thing is
but like,
where
think about how
different.
Many people have come out to Hoppers and been like, "You guys have Nuketown."
Right.
What?
But I think that you're right in the respect of like if Call of Duty didn't exist and the concept of a like 15-minute search and destroy, a team deathmatch, that kind of stuff, which team deathmatch isn't exclusive to Call of Duty.
That stuff exists in other games, but Call of Duty has popularized it to the masses.
It is the most direct representation. It's the most accessible. Right? It's the most accessible thing. Yeah. Call of Duty is supposed to be inspired by real-life military
think
operations.
About like pro gamers in the like 90s and early 2000s.
You mean Dr. Disrespect with the 1993, 1994 blockbuster video game champion? Yeah. The 2-time back-to-back. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Those concepts existed outside of like early CS competitions. Like think about like when CS came out, the level of stuff going out.
But I think we're just now seeing.
But those are like PC gamers who are dedicating resources to this thing versus, hey, this kid just got an Xbox 360 and the new Call of Duty is $30-$40 at the time, and bam, you're locked and loaded playing online with anyone.
Yeah,
that's like a whole different type of deal.
I think the things that we like about our home field are the things that we like about Ballahack.
Yeah.
It gives us a lot of variety.
And Hoppers really does have a lot of... my only complaint about the fields at Hoppers is that they are designed to only be played
on their own.
Solo.
Yeah.
Ballahack, you can slice off a portion of the field and play it as a smaller field, and it works.
Right.
And then you can play the whole thing all together, and it works. But that's because Ballahack was set up to do that.
Exactly.
Ballahack was always designed to be played that way. Hoppers is designed for 15-minute quick match rec play, which is this group's going to this field and the paintballers are going over here and we're rotating.
Or like having private birthday parties.
Yeah, which is a smart business decision.
Right. And that's, I think, where it gets into, it is a paintball field that lets airsofters come and play.
Yes. Because
it
hasn't always been that way. Like way back in the day, it was designed like back when it was mostly just Hydra out to red and blue and stuff. It was designed to play this sort of long way. And then I think even before that, there was like back in the woods, they had a bunch of like way back in the old days, they had just some woods ball. Mm-hmm. But since then, as paintball
has been
private
more
parties and
all
stuff,
that stuff, I think this field does not exist anymore, but the other field that was in our area it was also a paintball field that allowed airsoft to be there was Combat Zone.
And they were a little more airsoft minded.
They were. It was the same thing of individual fields that get played by certain groups at certain times. Bigger, yes. Each field was bigger than...
They had less fields. They had less overall locations, but they were bigger.
But they did have one specific field that was designed for airsoft.
Yeah.
And that was cool.
Yeah.
It had like a massive...
It was huge.
Yeah, it was...
It was like an Aztec temple.
It was massive.
Yeah,
you could go inside this thing. I don't know.
I still to this day don't understand. It was so tall. How tall do you think the thing was? Had to have been like it was like 60 feet tall.
No, dude, no. It was like 30, 40
No,
feet.
It was more than that.
I remember it was definitely not. Yeah, dude.
There was a whole inside mummy
30
chamber.
feet tall. The average ceiling in a building is 10 feet.
45.
Nah, dude, maybe 45.
Not to the floor, to the
very tippy top. Yeah,
45.
It was maybe 45 to 50, but the playable area of that tower was probably about 30 to 40 feet. Yeah.
Okay, I can get on board with that.
Yeah, What airsofter do you know that we play with is going to run up 40 feet of stairs?
That place is long gone. That place is dust done
in
and
the wind.
Dusted.
Yes,
but imagine a Aztec temple.
That thing out.
You know what I'm talking about? Where there's like at all four sides have staircases leading to the top.
GoldenEye 64. Imagine Aztec.
Yeah.
Now airsoft.
So that place was cool. I only played there once.
I played there twice, I think.
Went without me. That's crazy.
Maybe.
You might have. I don't know.
I feel like we both played there twice.
I only played there once.
It was like we played there for like a month before it kind of shut down. I think we played there. We played there before I moved away, and we didn't play airsoft. But that was also, it was less CQB and more woods ball, but they definitely had they had at least one map that did have a kill house in the middle.
And we've been to some indoor stuff too.
Yeah.
Like we went to Battalion and that's like all speed QB stuff. Was the one in Ohio that you went to, was that indoor?
It was indoor, yeah. It was in Massillon.
Yeah. Indoors just, all right. I have seen out of all the gameplay footage online, 1, maybe 2 indoor fields that I am like, I'll play this. But the majority of them just feel like laser tag arenas. And if I want to play laser tag, I would much rather just go play laser tag under the black lights with all the crazy kooky decorations. So there's a whole variety of it.
So I'll talk a little bit about my experience in Ohio, because I only went to this field one time. And it was a very cool field. It was a big indoor field. It was in a massive warehouse. And they even did have a second story structure in there.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, it was a big place. They had a lot of really cool things where it was like corridors and doorways and hallways and stuff, but then also little like holes you walk up to this wall and there is a 2-foot 2-foot diameter square diameter, but 2-foot square hole in this wall that you could just like crawl through.
Yeah.
And I very distinctly remember making a push in one of the game modes, and I had already I'd been fighting at this hole for a little bit, and we cleared out some people, and I'm looking at the guy that I'm with, and I'm like, all right, I'm going through, like, you know, cover me, all this stuff. And I go through, and as soon as I peek my head through, there's a guy standing right there, just domes me right in the forehead.
Wow.
It was rough. I think I have a picture.
That is unfortunate.
I think I have a picture, because that's happened a few times, but I have a picture of this specific time somewhere. I'd have to find it.
That's why the indoor fields have low FPS.
It was nuts.
I will say the longevity of those fields is probably easier to maintain because of there's no weather paint, there's no weather, there's like you build something and now it's just built,
and you can play it year round.
Yeah,
especially in Ohio where it's
easier to move
like
stuff
that.
around because it's all on a concrete slab. You can bring in like forklifts and hand carts and stuff.
It was a good field.
I think an indoor field here would kind of rip.
I'll say the only reason I only played once, and I didn't play airsoft really at all when I was in Ohio, is because I didn't have my battle buddy.
Yeah.
That's
why I stopped playing airsoft.
Yeah, I didn't have my battle buddy. And I was like, I don't know what to do here, man. Like nobody's.
How long was that? 3 years? 2 years?
2.
Too much time, man.
Yeah.
Little did we know we should have been grinding. Should have been making more content. Wyatt went back and watched some of those videos.
Oh, really?
He goes, dude, I can end your whole career by just clicking this button. And he goes over under our YouTube to videos. He goes and clicks a button that says oldest. And it pulls the oldest video first. And I was like,
what's the first video?
Oh, I don't even know.
Is it the Lancer Gen 2 unboxing?
It's not the oldest one, but he pulled that up. And we were watching. I was like, honestly, dude.
Not that bad.
I was like, this is dog water. I was like, this is horrible. But.
Compared to.
But.
Oh.
You can tell we're having so much fun.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, it really is awful. But like. He was like, it really is rancid.
The worst thing I've ever seen in all my time playing airsoft.
But you guys are loving it, and that's what matters.
Yeah, truly.
So,
So Battalion, I think, was the other indoor field that we played at. That's in Jacksonville.
There's nothing wrong
the
with
issue that we had with Battalion is not the field. Dude, it's not the field.
It's not the field. The field's great.
We had a bad experience with players at that field. We have not talked about airsoft culture at any of these other fields that we went to. I'm going to bring it up on this one because it was such a thing that Isaac and I vowed to never go back to Battalion again.
Yeah, there was a group there. And who knows if they
were even just
They may
visiting.
not even still be playing.
But it's the way that the admin staff handled what was going on, dude. It was just some of the most toxic
it was like probably the worst airsoft
I've ever encountered. Like,
this is not us telling you not to go. I would like to say we are not talking crap on the field. If you live in Jacksonville,
you should go. You should go play airsoft.
You should go support your local airsoft field. What?
Dude, your computer just got 2 notifications back to back that blew my eardrums.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
You think it's in the recording? Probably not.
I certainly hope not. If it is in the recording, it's through my headphones. Give me 1 second.
It's probably not on the recording.
I gotta fix that before it happens again and ends my life.
Definitely go support local airsoft fields. Go check it out. We just had a bad time, and that is... What?
Do you have the charger?
For what? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. We're passing away. Hold on.
Stand by. We're dying. Port City's dying.
Unprofessional behavior.
Port City Airsoft is no more.
Oh, gee. And that's why we're the best. Not because we plan ahead, but because we adapt to our own mistakes quickly.
And that's why we're such good airsofters.
But it was just an issue.
It was just an issue with the player base.
It was just an issue
the way
with
that the
culture.
admin staff handled every single person was having an issue with these guys.
To be fair, we have had that experience at Hoppers. Mm-hmm. Years ago, there was a group who was making it hard to enjoy airsoft. But that's not the case anymore. That's no longer the case. That problem has been resolved. So give it a shot. We're not talking bad on those guys. They probably don't even know who
I will say this. I will go into a little bit more detail about how that problem was resolved. And this was the ultimately the problem with Battalion. The way that problem was resolved is the admin of the field said, you guys cannot come back here and play.
At Hoppers.
Yeah. every person is having a problem. We're experiencing toxic airsoft, and it is centered around this group.
Yeah.
You
it was
guys
a small
can't come
group.
back.
It was like 4 people maybe contributing, and they got the band.
And now we have like, I mean, talking about your experience at, because I didn't go. What?
To what?
To barracks.
Oh yeah, barracks.
Talking
was great.
about your experience at barracks,
also check out barracks. They're in Jacksonville.
Yeah, barracks is in Jacksonville, and we're going to talk about the field and stuff. But I just want to touch on this. Like, you were telling me, because I wasn't able to go, but we talked about it at some point later that day. Just like our boys out there on the field, not only tearing it up and doing a really good job of playing airsoft, and basically like being the guys on the field, the aggressors, but then also the leadership, the level of leadership that they were bringing for what seemed like new players, young players that, you know, somebody, Shay made a play and he like was hiding behind a corner, and he's got these two guys like cut off in assault.
He wiped like 9 people, stopped 2 pushes.
Oh yeah. By
himself.
And then this young player who he might have even been a rental. I don't know. He had a nice blaster, but
I don't know what his deal was.
You showed me the video.
Yeah.
But he just comes up and domes Shay right in the head.
Yeah.
And Shay in that moment could have been like, "Oh man, like I just did this really awesome play," and like freak out and whatnot and get mad. He goes, "Dude, good shot, dude. That was awesome, man. Like good
and
shot."
And then went up to him afterwards and was like, "Was that you out there?" He's like, "Dude, that was awesome."
Dude,
like,
it takes nothing to be a chill, kind, encouraging airsofter.
Be aggressive, play hard.
Yeah, play hard.
Play hard, get better, be good at airsoft.
Right.
It is a competitive sport, but also use that to encourage.
Yes.
Don't dominate, Pete. Like don't dominate the other team and be like, "You guys suck. Like we kept you in." Don't spawn lock people. Whatever. There is a certain level,
and that was another thing. Like our guys were pushing. Like Shay, Wyatt, Hunter, all those guys were pushing, but it was never we're being pushed into our spawn. Yeah. It was, hey, we've pushed up far enough. Let's either hold here or let's pull back a little bit and give them some room. And that's something that we do. That's something that we do at our home field. That I think is a big deal.
Our community here in Savannah really does a great job. Of hey guys, the other team is clearly struggling. Let's keep playing hard. Give them a little room to breathe. Now, if it's like King of the Hill, don't just let them take the hill.
That's like the whole point is to sit on it. Yeah.
But like if you have the hill, there's no need to push up and shut them down at spawn. Now, if it is like, oh, dude, we've got some experienced players on both sides, we're going to play hard, and you take that hill barely, and then you push up and you flank and you cut, like, those are all acceptable things. By all means, win and play well. But when there's new players, encourage them, guide them, like, when they do good, tell them they did great. When they're doing bad, give them pointers. Tell them, hey, man, you might want to try this different. Or like, why don't you come with me? We're going to make a push. Like, that's how people get better. That's how we get more people into airsoft.
Dude, and it's just such a different experience. Like, even playing at Hoppers now, and like, I think about like playing in the backyard at your house, dude.
Old school.
Dude, and like
all springers
not
and
at all.
Not ANSI rated iPro.
I want you to keep in mind, this is a house in the middle of Midtown Savannah, right? This is a residential district. The backyard is almost non-existent. It is big enough for a driveway, a pool, and a back porch.
Playing with springers,
I mean, we pull out like springers lawn chairs, and we're 10 feet away from each other, still missing with these dinky springers
and dollar store sunglasses.
Oh yeah, like not at all safe.
Not safe. By
not
any
safe.
means.
Don't tell anyone. Yeah, not safe.
Don't do that.
And don't do that either.
Seal.
And then you would have experiences. I remember for Christmas one year, my brother and I got these. It was the first AEG I ever had. Dude.
Yeah, with the hopper. With a hopper, where the scope was a hopper.
No.
Oh, okay.
It actually did have a magazine.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it looked like an MP5K.
Yeah.
It was smaller than a regular MP5K. It was see-through. the magazine actually did.
No.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Do you know about this?
No. So yes, but I also had one, but different. Oh, yeah. You keep talking about yours.
And the way the safety. No, I didn't have a stock. Mine did not have a stock. But it looked like it looked like that, but it didn't have the foregrip.
Yeah.
It had like the slick MP5 kind of, but it had the, like, it looked like the skeletal stock, but it was fully retracted and you couldn't move it. It was just on the thing. And the way that you fired it, the safety was always on, and you had to push the safety down with your thumb and pull the trigger at the same time in order to operate this thing, and it was full auto the whole time.
That's awesome.
And it would just go beep, 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 beep,
the
beep.
slowest fire rate ever.
And I remember getting those for Christmas. It was a 2-pack. So rest in peace, 2-pack.
Yeah. Rip.
And my brother and I
canceled for that one.
My brother and I got them for Christmas, and we go to our grandparents' house, and he and I are just running around in the backyard with no iPro.
Oh, yeah.
Shooting, just like running around and shooting each other. It's like, hey, man, like, I'm shooting you. It's like, yeah, you are, and I'm shooting you too. Yeah. And we're just like
shooting each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we're having a water gun fight with BBs.
Yeah.
And dude, it's so much fun, but like not at all what I do now on Saturdays. No. Not at all what I do now. I had
the same thing, except mine was like imagine.
Dig, if you will.
Imagine if, like Boomco and not even Boomco, like Buzzbee.
Yeah, Nerf blasters and stuff.
Buzzbee blasters?
Yes.
Imagine if Buzzbee made a rendition of the MP5 SD. So not at all scaled or accurate, but you can like tell this big. Yeah, it's tiny. It's based off of this thing. The mag, the stick mag, is the battery. So you put the mag in, and that's the battery. Okay? Are you tracking with me here?
Yes. Sorry, I am trying to find the thing that I had.
You put the mag in, that's the battery. And then on top was an optic that did not work, but was a hopper that fed BBs in through the top of it. And it was the same thing. It only shot full auto.
Yeah.
And it shot like this. Pew, 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 like that fire rate.
So imagine this without the little scope on top.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And I'll send this to you so we can put it on screen.
Yeah.
Dude, so funny. Yeah, and again, not at all what we do now. Like the level of airsoft that which we play on Saturdays, 10-year-old Corbin would never even think. Because I thought I was cool back then, dude.
Oh, buddy. I was wrong.
Yeah?
I thought I knew what I was talking about.
I'm about to put this in the general chat.
I thought I knew what I was talking about until I looked at it, and it's not the MP5. I'm thinking of a different one. This one was Chase had the MP5. I had the M4 version, which I am texting to you right now.
Well, I put it in the general chat. General chat.
Take a look at this real quick.
Dude, you didn't salute general chat. Dude, it's crazy.
General chat.
Dude, yes. I remember this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yo.
Oh, yeah.
And the magazine was the battery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I think the one that I had took actual AA batteries.
Dude.
Like straight up AA batteries.
And now look at us, dude. You just bought a like $300 and something
dollar. Can I tell you
G30.
what I've got in my hands right now?
Yeah. He's literally holding
an average G36. Dude, this thing is disgustingly nice. And to be fair, and Isaac and I were talking about this the other day. To be fair. And we'll probably get into more of this in the Ready Room. So, go subscribe on Patreon and check us out in the Ready Room. Check us out in the Ready Room, dude. The first like real airsoft blaster I ever got, my family took a trip to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and just all over they have stores where you walk in and it's like, oh, there's some knickknacks and then just airsoft blasters all over the place. And and then so I don't even remember what I got. I don't remember what my blaster was, but my brother got a G36. It was a double eagle G36.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the day we got it, I accidentally broke the muzzle device off.
Nice.
And my brother was so mad at me.
Yeah.
And I mean, hey, whatever. But, yeah, dude, we had that thing for actual years. And you and I were talking about it.
Yep.
The first time that you and I actually, like, hung out when we were super young.
Yeah, you were, what, 15?
I was either 15 or 16. And you were, like...
9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're at my house, and you see this thing, and you're like, "Oh, dude, what is that?" And I go, "It's a G36." And you were like, "Is that the blaster from Aliens?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, dude, it's a G36. It's a real blaster. It's a replica." And you're like, "Oh, I've never seen that before." And I was like, "It's in Modern Warfare."
Yeah.
And I pull up Modern Warfare 2 and get a G36. You're like, "Whoa!" And then we spend the day playing Modern Warfare 2. And that's where
and I'd like to point out, Corbin was not just like hanging out with 9-year-olds at 16 years old.
Our dads were like best friends.
For all, what is it, intent or whatever, and purposes.
Now I will say I was hanging out with 9-year-olds at 16, but it wasn't like a weird thing. It was like,
well, I just meant like you had friends your age.
Yeah, I did.
But
I had friends older than me.
I was also very tall.
Yeah. And Isaac was like a grown man at 12.
People would forget. I was basically how you see me today.
We'd go to
take away the mustache. I looked like this at 13.
We would go to youth conferences,
and I would get hit on by the adult women.
And he was like 13 years old, and we literally made you a shirt that said, "I'm actually 13," and then we'd scratch out the number and add it and change it every year.
Yeah, it was like a real thing where, they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, you're 12," and I'd be like. Yeah. I'd be like, yeah.
So that being said, the G36 has been something that I like it since then has been my absolutely favorite alternative platform. And up until Novrich released his G36, there has not been a good G36 on the market. And now I've got one. I've come full circle, and this thing is Gucci.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Gucci. I'm putting a tracer unit on it, dude. Like, again, 12-year-old Corbin would never have thought that this is where I'd be right now, holding a nice G36 that is going to make people upset.
Who would have thought
at
sitting
me.
there in your bedroom at like 9 years old that we'd be like, we own an airsoft business.
We own an airsoft business, and we regularly go to Milsims. That's insane.
That's crazy.
That's truly insane.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this episode of the Port City Podcast and would like to see more, make sure to check out our Patreon, where, as always, we will continue this discussion in the ready room. But if you don't do that...
If you don't do any of that...
What's the most important thing?
You should go play Airsoft.
You should go play Airsoft.
You absolutely should go play Airsoft, dude. Even if you're at Battalion, dude.
You're taking that out this weekend, right?
No. Well, maybe.
I won't be here. You should do it.
I won't be here.
I walked in and I said, wow, that's a nice G36.
Well, I'm not going to be playing Airsoft this Saturday.